Hi, folks. I'm Bob Schrupp, physical therapist.
Brad Heineck, physical
We are
therapist.
the most famous physical therapists on the internet.
In our opinion, of course, Bob.
Single best self-defense weapon on the street or home. We're going to give you the number one option that you should do if you're trying to protect yourself.
Right.
Man or woman.
Right. And this is something that when my daughter went to college, I investigated because I wanted the best thing that she could have. And this is it. So we're going to get into it, but we're going to talk about how this works. So
yeah, we're going to get into the different options, because there are other options besides the one we're going to show today, but we're going to tell you why we still think this is the best one.
right, and I think it's very clear. So, but Bob, before we go any further,
if you are new to our channel, please take a second to subscribe to us. We promise we won't hurt you. We provide videos on how to stay healthy, fit, pain-free, and safe.
Safe.
And we also upload every day. There's a subscription button here or here. Also go over to Facebook and like us, because Brad and I, as children, were not liked, and therefore we are trying to turn things around. So
Why, Bob?
why? I don't know why, Brad.
All right.
All right, so first, Brad, why don't you give your background so these people know that you're qualified to talk about this subject.
Right. As you know, we are physical therapists. We have had this channel for years, but on occasion, a topic like this comes up in the news or something where I've had 17 years studying the martial arts. And when I got to my second degree test,
He's a second-degree black belt.
right. I emphasized my studies into self-defense, and I actually organized and taught professional classes
for people.
Yep, it was typically women.
Sure.
Actually, it was all women, and I would have groups of them, and I did free ones as well. But for a number of years, I did that. So in order to be effective, I studied on this topic from the professionals. Actually, I got a lot of information from police officers.
Oh, sure.
One from Milwaukee, where I got a lot of information from, which I'm going to go in the next video, and one from Chicago, where they really get into a lot of this kind of
it's a big issue.
right.
I mean,
Right. So I feel confident in this information.
I do want to mention your book too, Brad. Now, this has nothing to do with self-defense. This is just more for stretching and preparing, staying injury-free.
Well, just read the title. It's exactly what it is.
Martial Arts Manual for Stretching, Strengthening, and Treatment of Common Injuries.
Right.
So if you're...
It's training. You know, how to be a good martial artist.
It's a Kindle book.
It's great for instructors.
Yeah, it's down below. Go ahead and get it if you're into that field. So.
Okay, so what is the best self-defense?
I'm going to have to ask you, Brad, because I have no idea.
Well, the first thing, people say, take some martial arts. Learn how to defend yourself, learn how to punch, kick. What are the most vulnerable sites you're going to strike? Well, those are all good things, but I can tell you from 17 years, you're not going to learn it in a 10-minute video. It's going to take years of a lot of practice, repetition, and then anybody will tell you if you get in a conflict, chances are you're going to get hurt.
Yeah.
So you want to avoid the conflict. So hand to hand.
Especially if you're a smaller person or maybe a little more elderly. Or,
Sure.
There's just so many factors.
Right. So the next thing are people are saying, well, get a 9mm pistol. Well, that's true. It's going to be a good self-defense tool, and in a lot of states, in the United States, they are legal. You can conceal carry, etc. But you really know how to handle.
You must have to know how to handle
right.
it.
And you just don't learn how to use it and shoot it at the range once and learn. You have to go repeatedly, at least once a month, and feel very comfortable with that weapon.
Well, there's so many issues. I mean, are you even comfortable in shooting somebody?
Right.
Are you comfortable in carrying a gun? Do you want a gun around your house with children around? In
a real life situation, are you going to freeze? So that one's probably not the best. The next one is mace or pepper spray. And I'm thinking, that's not a bad idea.
And that's what I had gotten for my daughters, is some pepper
right.
spray.
The problem that can be with that is, number one, you have to be accurate with it, and there's a certain distance that
it's no longer
right.
accurate.
And if it's dark, it's kind of hard to see where you're spraying. So that brings us on to what I got for my daughter after studying this, and that is a simple tool like a flashlight.
A flashlight.
But it's not just any flashlight. You need to get a tactical. They're called a tactical flashlight. In the military is where these originally started, is my understanding, and they're very bright. You need to have a lanyard on it, so if you drop it, you don't lose it. That's going to go on your wrist. It's got to be a good lanyard.
Well, actually, the name of this one is, Brad, they have a whole bunch of them.
Oh, there's a lot of them. So
this is the M1X Striker. And we'll put a link down below so you can see it.
Right.
I don't remember how much it was, to be honest with you. But
I think they're between $50 and $70, depending on where you get it. So it's not a cheap light, but they're well built. They're sealed. They got O-ring seals. If you know, in the water, they're going to hold up well to that atmosphere. And they're all aluminum. They're built well. The button is on the back here. How did that go? Are you okay, Lonnie?
Yeah.
I think I've got this set on the brightest setting. Now, the distance, you can be quite a ways away, and if you get it in their eyes, they're going to see white lights. Now, with this, what I did is I took a pair of sunglasses, and I shined it up against the wall, and I looked at it, and it was too bright, okay?
Sure.
And actually,
That's how
just
bright
today, I
it's
took my sunglasses on, and I very quickly went on and off with it into my eyes. It hurt. It doesn't hurt painful, but it hurts your eyes. And I kept seeing these white lights for a couple of minutes afterwards.
So the idea is someone's coming up upon you, and you flash them,
Right.
and probably stay flashing.
Right.
And he's going to be blinded, or she's going to be blinded.
Right, he or she, and it gives, if you cannot see, you're in a pretty good position to get out of there.
Sure.
Okay?
I wonder if it would blind a dog. No, seriously, if a
Well,
dog was
yeah,
coming
yeah.
at you, if the dog
Yeah.
would,
Yeah, it
I'm
would.
just, I know maybe it's a stupid thing to
No,
say, but
it's not. But the one thing that's really critical, first of all, you have to know how to use it.
sure, because
mean-
it's got different settings.
Right, so you have,
And you want it set so it's going to be at the bright.
So you have to be comfortable with, and I'm going to talk about how to hold it and how to turn it on and whatnot, but you need to be confident with it and confident in yourself.
Sure.
So, and I'm talking to people, if you're raising children, they're at that age where you want them to know how to defend themselves, you have to teach them that nobody has the right to touch them, which everyone doesn't know that.
Right.
Particularly people in power, a
Right.
teacher, a politician,
a priest.
yeah. You have to
So-
know that nobody has the right to touch you, and you have the right.
Not under any circumstances.
Exactly. You have the right to stop it. And as much force is necessary to stop it, okay? That's really critical to teach that to your children.
I think the other thing, Brad, which we mentioned in the other video about not getting groped, is about posture, and that if you're walking along like this, wowsy, the world hates me. That's what I saw. I was reading one article where a criminal was saying we call that the victim walk. And we know that's someone we're going to target.
Right, because they're easy prey.
They're easy prey.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
You want to have confidence
Right.
and walk with, like you know where you're
Right.
going. You said it.
You have to have your head up, be aware. You're not just looking at one spot or looking at the tall buildings if you're in the big city, but you're looking around, you're aware of your surroundings, and you look like you know where you're going. And you do.
Right, because you don't want to look like a tourist, which is also somebody that is going to be a victim quite
Exactly.
often.
The other thing about confidence with your children, this is one of the things I did with my daughter.
Lonnie, you have to focus in on this.
Yeah.
This is kind of cool.
I got her for Christmas, which wasn't a big deal for a Christmas present in her mind, but
So you can see a little kitty looking into the mirror, and in the mirror, there's actually a tiger.
right. So what does it say?
What matters most is how you see yourself.
Right.
So
every day, this is right at her mirror where she combed her hair.
Sure.
And it was there for 7 years. So every day she looked at this, whether or not she knew she was reading or not. If you look at
Right.
the psychology, hopefully that sunk in.
subliminal message
Right.
there.
And I think when she played basketball on defense, she was pretty aggressive. So I don't know if that was
that was coming out.
right. But in a self-defense situation, this has to instinctively come in, that you're confident in yourself. If you got a flashlight, you can put it in someone's eyes and take care of business.
Brad, the other point, are you going to point out these sharp edges?
Right.
there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
So as far as how
There's more to the light than just the light.
Right. So now we're going to get into, you have confidence. You have to know how to use it.
Walking like you know where you're going.
Right.
Yeah.
Posture. How you
Posture,
present yourself.
Looking around, being aware.
And then with this, you have it like this. Now, my daughter, when she has hers, she has it in her backpack, and she keeps it in her bag as she was at the group. If she's by herself, she pulls it out, she puts it on her
it on
wrist,
there.
and then you hold it like this. You don't want to advertise that you've got a tactical
Yeah.
flashlight.
Sure.
You hold it like this. It's out of the way,
walk
and it's
along.
ready to be used.
Yep.
There is a thumb button here, okay? And now this one, I don't want to go through the details because you have to learn it, because each light's a little bit different. But on this one, I push it on once, and it's at its brightest setting. If you want to use it to change a tire, you got a flat tire, you don't want it that bright because you're going to blind your eyes. You can push it once, and
There's
there.
a button on the side that'll
Right.
change.
That's
the
pretty.
setting.
That's not too bad, is it, Lonnie, on there? And I can go brighter and brighter, and then it go
And
back
it
down.
has a strobe too, right, Brad?
Yep. And that's a nice thing about this is it's got
yeah.
a strobe. So that
You
kind
know,
of,
blind Bonnie here.
right, but that's a half a click. So you have to get comfortable with how to use your light. So you can practice with
Sure.
it, okay? The next thing is you have the lanyard on. It's in this position. Where do you keep your hands when you're walking with it? Here. You don't keep it down here.
Really?
Because if someone's out in front of you, you got to go from here
Oh,
to
yeah.
here is a lot of
So
time.
if you come up on somebody that
It's
you're
right
worried
there.
about, I mean, you could walk like this until you come up on somebody, right?
Right, or if you're concerned.
Sure.
If you're in an
feeling
area,
it, yeah.
you got to use your sixth sense. If something doesn't seem right about
Yeah.
that person or the area you're in, you're in this position.
Sure.
You want to be able to protect yourself. You want to have the light ready to go on and point. The other thing is, if someone strikes you, you can protect your head.
Sure.
Here, okay? The other thing is, if you look at, I'm going to have to go close with this, Lonnie. This makes this a tactical flashlight. There is edges on the front of this. Oh,
You're probably too close. You're probably too close, Brad.
good? Okay, see these edges? Okay, there's 5 of them. They're not razor sharp, but they're adequate and they're very strong. The hand is like this, you're ready to turn it on, and it gives you a good position to strike. And you're not going to strike, you're going to strike to a bony surface, particularly the face, around the eyes, or to the eyes. You don't mess around and think, oh, I'm going to strike someone, you know, in the chest or the arm or in a muscular area, because it's not going to hurt, it's not going to do anything. It must strike to the eyes or to the, it's all bonies around here, and that is going to really cause some blood flow to come out, which is going to
Sure.
get in the person's eyes, gives you a chance to get away between being blinded
And
this.
painful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have to teach, when I taught my classes, I enforced, this is in imminent danger, you are in danger, you
Right.
have the right to protect yourself. And all these tactics sound really nasty, but that's what it takes, and you don't mess
What
around.
I like about it, Brad, is let's say someone's come upon you and you make somewhat of a mistake. He really wasn't going to attack you, and you just flash him.
Right,
I mean, you didn't. It's not like you maced him.
right.
Or, you know, I mean.
Or you shot him with a 9mm.
Or you shot him with a.
Exactly.
So it's kind of a nice option in that regard, that it doesn't.
Right.
So.
The other thing I do want to mention, in the event that there is a problem and someone's there, you're flashing them and you're running, you're not being quiet. You have to use your self-defense of being vocal. People can hear if you're in a room or you're in a quiet area, in an alley or whatever it could be. There's people that can hear you in windows and whatnot, and you're going to yell very loud, and the word you're going to use to get people's attention is, I can't say it here aloud because we've got
Sure.
in this facility, is fire. When people hear the word fire, they want to find out what's going on.
Sure.
If they just hear you screaming or screaming help, they don't know if they want to get involved.
Right.
Some people are not going to want to get involved because
Right.
they don't want to get hurt, they don't want to get involved, you know, that type of thing. But when they hear fire,
They're like, yeah, is that going to affect me?
Right.
So I'm going to look
Right.
out, and then the more people that come out, obviously, the more the criminal is going to not
and
want
the
to be.
criminal realizes that too.
Right.
And if some, you know, they don't want to get
They
caught.
don't want crowds.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. They want to have
Yeah.
their way with the situation in the way they want it.
They
and
want to
that's-
be alone.
Exactly.
So-
So use the light, use your voice, and use the tactics we just talked about. Now, we got another video coming up in about a week or so, and that's going to tell you how to get in a parking lot, or if you're in a house, how there's a real simple technique to keep yourself safe. This helps as well, and I call it the friendly wall technique. So learn
Nice.
about that coming up.
Nice. Very good. Thanks, Brad. This is a very valuable video.
Great, thank you. Be safe.